In Revenge of the Sith, we saw a moment that changed the galaxy forever. Chancellor Palpatine gave the command, Order 66.
Commander Kennedy.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
Yes, my lord.
And with those two words, clone troopers across the galaxy turned on their Jedi generals without hesitation. The Jedi, once peacekeepers, were hunted like traitors, and the Republic fell into the hands of the Sith. But what if it didn't go that way? What if the Jedi sensed the betrayal before it happened? What if the clones hesitated or the Order failed altogether? What if the Jedi fought back? In this version of the story, that's exactly what happens, and nothing unfolds the same. Let's begin. It all starts the same. On Coruscant, Mace Windu confronts Chancellor Palpatine, and tension explodes into a fierce lightsaber fight. Anakin shows up, torn and unsure. He sees Windu about to strike Palpatine down, and in that one confused, emotional moment, he makes his choice. Anakin turns. Windu falls. Palpatine smiles. He believes the Jedi are finished. Then comes the command. Execute Order 66. Across the galaxy, clone troopers receive the signal and look to their Jedi commanders. But this time, something's off. Some clones hesitate, others freeze in place, eyes wide with conflict. Commander Rex grips his head in pain, caught between loyalty and something he can't explain. The chips implanted in their brains begin to activate, but not all of them succeed. And across the galaxy, the Force stirs. Something has changed. Yoda feels it before anyone else. A sharp disturbance in the Force, but also a moment of clarity. Something terrible is unfolding, but all is not yet lost. On Kashyyyk, he doesn't just react. He reaches out through the Force, sending a silent message to Jedi across the galaxy. Be ready. And they feel it. The veterans. The ones who've spent years fighting beside clones. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Aayla Secura, Plo Koon. They begin to notice something strange, a shift in the way the clones move, the way they look at them. The Force is loud now, warning them to act. And they do. Not all survive. Many are still caught in the chaos. The betrayal is sudden, brutal, and everywhere. But this time, the Jedi fight back. This time, it's a battle, not a massacre. On Coruscant, the Jedi Temple becomes a war zone. Anakin, now Darth Vader, storms in with the 501st. The younglings, the knights, the temple guards, many fall before they even realize what's happening. But a few sense the danger just in time. They escape into the stars, knowing one thing for certain: the Jedi are being hunted. And they won't go down without a fight. Yoda returns to the ruins of the temple and meets Obi-Wan among the ashes. Together, they see what's left. And instead of hiding, they act. They send a signal, not a warning to run, but a call for every surviving Jedi to stand and fight. The survivors start to come out of hiding. One by one, Jedi who were supposed to be dead reappear in hidden places, remote outposts, forgotten temples, old High Republic ruins. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Aayla Secura, Plo Koon, bruised but breathing. Luminara Unduli, Shakti. They're worn down, but they're not broken, and they're ready to fight. They don't know the full story yet. They don't know who turned Anakin, but they know who gave the command. Meanwhile, Palpatine waits in his office, thinking everything went according to plan. The silence from his clone commanders doesn't bother him. He assumes the Jedi are being wiped out as planned. He has no idea they're regrouping. And he definitely doesn't know that his army is falling apart. Because not all clones carried out the order. Some hesitated. Some fought it. Others are starting to remember things they shouldn't. The inhibitor chips didn't work perfectly. And now cracks are forming in the Grand Army of the Republic. Commanders like Rex, Cody, and Bly begin to question what's really happening. Some reach out to Jedi they once trusted. Others go completely rogue. The control Palpatine thought he had is slipping, fast. Whispers spread in secret. The Jedi are still alive. Yoda and Obi-Wan make a plan. Yoda leads a small team, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Aayla Secura, and a handful of loyal knights straight to the heart of the problem, Palpatine. It's time to end the Sith once and for all. Obi-Wan and Plo Koon take a different path. They head to Mustafar. That's where Anakin went. That's where the real war might begin again. But they're not going in blind. They talk to Padme. They tell her everything. The Jedi Temple, the younglings, the betrayal. She's devastated, but she agrees to help. Not with weapons, with words. She'll get close. She'll distract him. She'll buy them time. She boards her ship. Obi-Wan and Plo Koon hide in the shadows. And as the lava flows beneath them, the final confrontation begins. Back on Coruscant, Yoda and the Jedi Masters move in. Their target, the Chancellor's office. But this isn't just a confrontation. It's a turning point. The fate of the Republic hangs in the balance. And this time, they're not alone. Bail Organa is rallying support inside the Senate. Mon Mothma is gathering intel from trusted allies. Even some clones, free of their chips, have joined the cause. What started as a Jedi crisis is becoming something much bigger. The early sparks of a full-blown rebellion are catching fire. Meanwhile, on Mustafar, the storm is building. Anakin stands at the edge of the platform, looking down at the lava. His face is calm, but his eyes burn bright with anger. When Padme steps off the ship, there's a flicker of something familiar. For a second, he almost looks like Anakin again. But then he sees them. Obi-Wan. Plo Koon. And the rage takes over. Anakin ignites his lightsaber without a word. Padme tries to stop him. She reaches out, begging him to listen, to remember who he was. But the moment he senses her sympathy for Obi-Wan, something inside him snaps. With the Force, he grabs her by the throat and slams her to the ground. Obi-Wan rushes forward, but Plo Koon is quicker. He lifts his hand and sends a crackling wave of Force judgment straight into Anakin's chest. It's not as brutal as Sith lightning, but it's enough to stagger him. Anakin screams, releasing Padme as the energy surges through him. His blade lashes out. Obi-Wan meets him mid-swing. Sparks fly. Lightsabers clash. Plo Koon joins in, circling him from the side. Together, the two Jedi begin to push back. Anakin is powerful, angry, and full of hate. But he's outnumbered, and he's starting to slip. Around them, the fire rises. The heat grows. And in the middle of it all, a battle erupts that will decide more than just their lives. It will shape the galaxy. But while the flames rage on Mustafar, Coruscant is about to explode. Anakin is no longer holding back. The light is gone from his eyes, replaced by pure rage. Every swing of his lightsaber is heavy with fury, fast and wild, as if he's trying to tear the past apart with every strike. But Obi-Wan knows these moves. He trained them. And now, he's using that knowledge to survive, reading each step, dodging each blow, staying one step ahead. Plo Koon isn't flashy. He waits for openings, conserving his strength. When he strikes, it's clean, calculated, a jab to keep Anakin guessing, to pull his attention away from Obi-Wan just long enough to shift the balance. But even with two masters against him, Vader doesn't fall. They battle through the corridors of the Separatist base, cutting through steel and glass as if the building itself is collapsing around them. Fire dances at their heels. Sparks rain from above. Anakin keeps pushing forward, but it's not just about the Jedi anymore. He's trying to destroy the part of him that still remembers who he was. Obi-Wan sees it. A pause. A glance. Something in his stance. A shadow of the old Anakin flickers for just a second. And that's where Obi-Wan strikes. Meanwhile, back on Coruscant, Yoda leads his strike team straight into the Chancellor's tower. No more waiting. No more diplomacy. The Jedi are done playing by the rules. Palpatine feels the shift immediately. The Force is no longer with him. It's crashing down on him. His Red Guards try to intervene. Aayla Secura cuts them down with effortless precision. Ki-Adi-Mundi rips open the doors like they're made of paper. And Yoda? He doesn't say a word. He just walks forward, steady as ever. The Sith Lord knows he's trapped, and for the first time in a long time, fear creeps in. But he won't go down quietly. His blade snaps to life. He lunges at Ayla, vicious and fast. She blocks, but he overpowers her, sending her crashing to the floor. Motionless. Yoda doesn't flinch. He springs into action, flipping through the air, blade clashing against red. Ki-Adi follows, attacking from the other side. The Chancellor's office erupts in flashes of light, bursts of energy, and the sound of history breaking in real time. Palpatine is strong, but this isn't Mace Windu alone. This is a Grand Master, and a Jedi Counselor who's been through 3 wars. And now, Palpatine is losing. Back on Mustafar, the fight takes its toll. Anakin is slowing. Plo Koon lands a blow to the shoulder. Obi-Wan cuts across his leg. Anakin Force pushes them both, buying himself space, but he knows it's running out. He tries to leap over Plo, going for the high ground. But Obi-Wan saw it coming. He throws his saber like a boomerang. It slices past Anakin's arm, knocking the saber from his hand. He lands hard. Plo moves fast, pinning him with Force judgment. Anakin convulses, screaming. When Obi-Wan reaches him, he doesn't finish the job. He lowers his weapon. "You were my brother," he says. And for a second, Anakin breathes. Just breathes. And then, he surrenders. Cuffed at the wrists, his eyes still glowing faintly yellow, Anakin Skywalker, or what's left of him, is dragged aboard Padme's ship. She's alive, but unconscious. Her breath is shallow. Plo stabilizes her as Obi-Wan sets coordinates for Coruscant. The war is shifting. Palpatine in the Chancellor's office begins to falter. Yoda and Ki-Adi press him back toward the edge of the window, their strikes unrelenting. Palpatine hurls bolts of Force lightning, but Ki-Adi absorbs them with his saber. Yoda deflects the final blast back into the Sith's chest. Palpatine stumbles, and then he's cut down. No grand speech, no secret backup plan. Just silence. The Sith Lord collapses to the floor. Dead. The galaxy doesn't erupt into celebration. Not yet. But a new breath moves through it. The temple is retaken. The remaining Jedi return. With Palpatine gone and the clones fractured, the Republic teeters. Into that vacuum steps Bail Organa. The Senate votes. A new Chancellor is appointed. One who knows the cost of war. One who believes in rebuilding. But the questions haven't stopped. What do they do with Anakin? He's alive, but he's not the man they once knew. Padme, recovering slowly, begs them to show mercy. But then the security footage is recovered, the temple, the slaughter, the younglings. The Senate holds a trial, broadcast across the galaxy. Anakin doesn't deny what he's done. He doesn't cry, he just stares. His Jedi status is revoked, his name stricken from every archive. And his sentence? Life in prison, in the Outer Rim. No parole, no redemption. Padme gives birth shortly after. Twins, Luke and Leia. The Jedi want to hide them to keep them safe. But Padme refuses. She insists they grow up in the light, not in fear, not scattered, but raised in the Jedi Temple, watched over by Yoda, taught by Obi-Wan, guided by the council that almost fell and now rises again. The galaxy begins to heal. And yet, the future remains uncertain. Because somewhere in that prison, behind force fields and silence, Anakin Skywalker waits. Still powerful, still conflicted, and far from finished. The war is over, but peace never comes easy. The Republic begins stitching itself back together. Senators return to Coruscant. The surviving Jedi, those few who made it through the Purge, rebuild the temple stone by stone. But it's not just about architecture. It's about identity, about legacy, about learning from the mistakes that almost destroyed them. For years, the Jedi had drifted from their roots, generals instead of guardians, politicians instead of protectors. But now, with the galaxy still raw from betrayal, the Order reforms. Yoda spearheads the change. No more children sent to war. No more blind loyalty to corrupt governments. This new Jedi Order will be smaller, yes, but wiser. Stronger where it matters. And at the heart of it, two children who carry more weight than they know. Luke and Leia. Skywalker grow up under the quiet watch of their mother and the last great Jedi Masters. From the time they can walk, they are taught the ways of the Force, not as weapons, but as peacekeepers. They learn about their father, not all at once, but honestly and painfully. Leia takes to diplomacy, just like Padme. Luke, quieter, more contemplative, shows promise in the ways of the Jedi, but both of them carry the same fire, the same spirit, and the same potential to change the galaxy. As for Anakin, he remains in isolation. Somewhere far from Coruscant, locked away in a prison built for Force users, his cell reinforced with cortosis and dampeners that suppress his power. But the Force doesn't leave him. It lingers. It watches. And it waits. There are days when he refuses to speak. Days when he stares at the wall, remembering Mustafar. Remembering Padme's tears. Remembering the faces of the children he betrayed. But then there are nights when he dreams. In those dreams, he still sees her. Still hears Obi-Wan calling his name. Still feels the heat of lava licking at his back. And in the darkness of that dreamscape, a voice whispers, "It's not Palpatine, not anymore. It's something older, deeper, something waiting in the unknown regions of the galaxy, watching, preparing." Back in the Republic, Chancellor Bail Organa struggles to hold the Senate together. Without Palpatine's control, the systems are restless. Trade routes must be redrawn, blockades lifted, entire worlds liberated from separatist remnants. The war may be over, but its ghosts are everywhere. And that's when the Jedi sense it, a tremor. Small at first, distant, but growing. Yoda knows the fight isn't finished. Evil doesn't vanish with a single Sith Lord. It changes shape, it moves in shadow, and if they're not careful, it will rise again. So the training begins. Quietly, patiently. Luke and Leia are taught the ways of the Force, taught restraint, taught compassion. But they're also taught history, all of it. The rise and fall of the Jedi, the truth about their father, and the thin line between justice and vengeance. Meanwhile, the clones face their own reckoning. Those whose chips failed are welcomed into the Republic's rebuilding efforts. Some retire. Some become security for senators. Some, like Rex, become legends, not for killing Jedi, but for protecting them. The others, the ones who executed Order 66 without question, are investigated, tried, and in many cases imprisoned. A civil divide forms in the clone ranks. Brotherhood strained by ideology. But even here, healing begins. As years pass, the scars of the Clone Wars start to fade. The temple is no longer a fortress. It's a school, a sanctuary, a place of learning, not military strategy. Younglings from across the galaxy begin to arrive, from Naboo, from Mon Cala, from even the Outer Rim, learning to serve the Force, not control it. And above them, Leia Organa and Luke Skywalker begin to shine. Leia becomes a senator by the time she's 20, already a fierce voice for unity and justice. Luke, quieter but no less powerful, is named a Jedi Knight before most others his age even complete their trials. He carries the Skywalker name with humility and a deep sense of responsibility. The Jedi Council watches closely. And then, the signal comes. From deep space. From a region long thought dead. A ship appears on Republic scanners. Ancient, scorch-marked. And inside it, a transmission. A voice they haven't heard in years. Anakin Skywalker. But it's not a threat. It's a warning. Something is coming. Something older than the Sith. Something Palpatine was only a puppet for. The Republic listens. Some believe him, some don't. But Yoda does. And in a quiet chamber at the rebuilt Jedi Temple, he sits with Luke and Leia and tells them the truth. That the war never really ended. That peace is a moment, a breath. And that the Force is always in motion. In this alternate galaxy, Order 66 failed. The Jedi lived. The Republic endured. But balance? Balance is never permanent. Because evil doesn't need an army to rise again. It only needs silence. And this time, the galaxy is listening. So, what if Order 66 failed? Maybe, just maybe, the galaxy got a second chance. But what it does with that chance is a story for another time. Would Anakin ever truly redeem himself? Would Luke and Leia rise as leaders of a new Jedi Golden Age? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this alternative timeline, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Wars stories, and may the Force be with you.